go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie, and today I have summer watermelon DIYs for you using items from the Dollar Tree. So the first project, I wanted to make a watermelon wall hanging, and I'm going to do that with a few bags that I found at Dollar Tree and a Dollar Tree wreath form. So I saw this watermelon bag at Dollar Tree, and I thought, this has to be something. Like, it's just screaming to be a watermelon DIY. Am I right? So it's got like the seeds on the front of it. So I thought I would like put it behind a wreath. I actually ended up switching it up a little bit. You'll see that in a minute. But to measure it out, I figured the second rung was going to be about where I need to go. So I'm just using a Sharpie, kind of rough sketching a circle on there so that I can cut out like the watermelon part of the bag. I kind of wanted to do a kind of a coastal watermelon project with this one. And so I do add a few coastal touches to it as well. So I'm just going to go in and cut off the front of the bag. I'm pretty much getting all of the good stuff here, all of the seeds and stuff. As you can see, it didn't have any seeds on the back, but I can still use that material for other things. And this is one of their recyclable bags. I love crafting with these. The only thing is they are sensitive to heat, and you will see that here in a minute. Now, I also picked up a couple of these bags from the Dollar Tree. It's like a palm leaf pattern, and I thought we could do this for like the rind of the watermelon. Like the colors are kind of like spot on, but it's a tropical pattern, so I thought that'd be kind of fun too. So I just cut the hem and the handle off. What I want to do is just cut this into strips. The sides are sewn together. I'm going to kind of just work with that and just cut one end off so that I have kind of like a ribbon, right? So I'm going to use that one for reference to cut out another one. And out of one of these little Dollar Tree bags, I was able to get 3 pieces of my ribbon. I do end up having to use part of another one of these as well because I did need a 4th piece. So I have 3 little pieces of ribbon. I thought I would go ahead and start to see how far that got me because, it could be enough. And so I'm going to flip over my wreath form and just use a little bit of hot glue here on the back. And kind of glue that to that top rung. Now, like I said, they are sensitive to heat. This is on the back though, so you're not really going to be able to see it if there's any damage to the fabric. And then I'm just going to simply start wrapping my wreath form with that palm leaf bag, slightly overlapping. And I want my transitions to be on the back, and this just happened to line up perfectly. And I'm just going to glue one piece to the next to get started again. I got really lucky. All of the seams that were about halfway through my ribbon all landed on the back. I don't know if you would really be able to see them anyway, but it worked out well. So this is my 3rd piece. And again, I would probably have shortened it to like not have my seam on the front if I needed to, but I didn't need to on that. So as you can see, I do need that one more piece. So I'm just going to cut out one more strip of this. I saw these bags at Dollar Tree and I just knew I needed to make something tropical with them. I didn't know I'd be making a watermelon though. That's kind of fun. So I'm going to glue this last one on and finish wrapping this around. And this is going to serve as my watermelon rind. These wreath forms this size are not too big. You could do a wreath with this, but I'm just doing it for a wall hanging for my home. I like to do that with kind of the smaller ones. Now, this is what I mean about sensitive to heat. Do you see how that just melted that when I glued it to the back? Luckily, it was on the back and no damage on the front, but it kind of scared me for future hot gluing on this project. Now, I didn't really like it behind it because I felt like a lot of the watermelon pattern was covered up. The rind was really big and the watermelon was small, and I want my watermelon to be big. So I decided to switch it up and have my watermelon be on the front. So I'm going to have to clean it up a little bit, try to make it a little bit more circular. I will frame out the seam so it doesn't have to be perfect, but a general round shape, right? So I decided to switch it up to tacky glue. I figured I didn't want any hot glue, and I found that the watermelon bag was even more sensitive than the other one. So I'm glad I chose this method. I just did a bead of tacky glue all the way around. And then I'm just going to lay that on top, gluing the fabric to each other. And you could use any kind of fabric glue you have. I love using that tacky glue from the Dollar Tree. I was like, you can use this for fabric, right? You can. So this is what we have so far for our little watermelon. It's so cute. But I wanted to kind of frame it up and kind of, you know, make my seam look a little bit better there. And since we're going in a coastal direction, I thought Dollar Tree white nautical rope would be perfect. This is the 11 foot. It's a little bit skinnier. And I don't need very much, but I want to do like that inner layer of watermelon rind with this. And I don't want it to stick out too much, so I definitely wanted the thinner one. Now, I thought I'm going to have to use hot glue to keep this down. Do you see how that just melted that watermelon fabric? It curled up on itself. So I was like, okay, I have to use hot glue for this. But at the same time, I can't put hot glue on the bags because they are sensitive to that. I don't know what they're made out of, but I figured the best way to solve that would just be to add hot glue to the rope. That way it would glue it down and not cause any damage. And that definitely seemed to work way better. So I got lucky there that all the damage was kind of hidden on that first part. So I'm just going to do one section at a time, add hot glue to the back of the rope, and then just kind of press that on the seam between the watermelon bag and the palm leaf wreath form. So I couldn't do a very big section at a time, but I think this allowed the hot glue a little time to cool off a little bit before it attached to the bags, which kind of made this work. I guess you could always use a low temp hot glue gun too. I actually don't have one. I think both of mine are high temp. And glue that all the way around. I'm not too worried about where the seam comes together here because I do plan to do a bow here at the bottom of our little coastal watermelon. And isn't it so cute so far? I think it's adorable. And then I wanted to make an easy bow, so I'm going to use this green. This is like a fall ribbon from Dollar Tree. You guys, they're putting all the fall stuff out already at Dollar Tree. I was already able to pick up my fall flowers and leaves. Can you believe that? I know, when they started putting pumpkins out at Target, I was like, oh no. Summer just began. And so I just kind of cut one piece and then dovetail the ends just by folding it together. I want one piece of the green. I want one piece of this like mesh and like the ivory, and one piece with the green mesh. I thought that would all go well together. It's going to give it a coastal feel. I think that mesh always looks a little bit like fishing net. So I'm just going to layer them on top of each other, green on top of white, green on the bottom. I kind of wanted red, but I didn't have any red in a wider ribbon. And then just using a Dollar Tree zip tie, I try to find the middle. I partially close it, and then I kind of push from below to kind of give my bow a little bit nicer shape before I finish cinching that up. I want like the green to kind of be on the top, and then like the solid ribbon, and then kind of like the white fishing net ribbon to kind of go down. So once you get it on there with your zip tie like that, you can kind of rearrange your bow as needed. But I think this turned out really cute. I would prefer a little bit of red in there, but it is what it is. So I'm just going to attach that with hot glue by gluing down the zip tie right there on the seam of my rope, right there on the bottom. If you wanted yours to be on the top, you could totally have like your rope seam be there too. I went back and forth whether I wanted it on the bottom or the top. I think it will look cute both ways. And then I'm just going to reinforce it with a little bit more hot glue, but again, being super careful because I know that fabric under there is going to melt. So if I melt any fabric, I kind of need to cover it up, but I can also glue it to like the rope and stuff like that. And then I wanted to have a little coastal touch. I thought that would be fun because watermelons are very summer and so is the beach. And you know, I love beach stuff. So I'm going to use a little shore living starfish. It's a little wider than I wanted it to be, so I'm gonna paint mine. This is a light ivory. It's called parchment apple barrel, and I'm just gonna go all over the front and the sides of my little starfish with that. It's basically gonna make the little starfish like the same color as the rope, so I thought that would make it coordinate a little bit better. And then I don't want it to be straight. I kind of want it to be on there kind of like crooked. I think that'll make it look a little bit better, kind of like it's falling, like that. And then it's just a matter of hot gluing that to my wreath. Now, when I wrapped it, I didn't really allow myself a hanger or anything like that on the back because I kind of wrapped the whole thing. And I thought I could just kind of use the wire wreath form to hang it, but I found that I really did kind of need a hanger on the back of it. So I'll show you what I ended up doing with that. But isn't it cute so far? I love it. And so I decided to like kind of find where I needed the hanger to be. And then I'm going to have to like cut a little bit of the fabric so that I can get to the wire wreath form underneath to make the hanger. And then just use some Dollar Tree twine. I'm going to kind of try to feed mine through there. And kind of working around what I've got here. It was a little bit tricky, but I don't know how you would kind of avoid that. So then I'm just going to tie that off and tie a knot, make a very simple little twine hanger for this to hang it up on my wall. And here it is, our little coastal watermelon. I think it's so fun. Let me show you how it looks hanging up. My glue wasn't completely dry there from my tacky glue yet, but I think it looks so cute. I love the little surprise starfish on there with a little bit of netting and the surprise palm leaves for the watermelon rind. I think it's so cute. What do you guys think about this one? I love it. Okay, the next one, I wanted to get super creative and see if we could make like a flower watermelon. So I found these red flowers. These are fall flowers right now at Dollar Tree with dark centers. I thought that would look like red watermelon with dark watermelon seeds, right? But I kind of want it to be a wedge so that you can really tell that it's a watermelon. So I'm going to use a wood round from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to try my best to cut this in half. So I'm just going to use a ruler to draw my line on there, and I'm going to take this to my saw. These signs from the Dollar Tree are so thin that if you don't have a saw, you could definitely cut through this with a couple go-arounds of like the X-Acto knife. You could definitely cut through it. My saw almost goes that far, but not quite, so I did have to cut it a couple of times, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just the back of this project. Now, I am going to paint it, and the only reason I'm going to paint it is in case you can see in between any of the red flowers. I don't want you to be able to see that raw wood underneath of it, so just a background of this fire red color. Doesn't really matter what color, just with something that's going to kind of match your flowers. I was really happy to find these flowers at my Dollar Tree today because I thought they were perfect. They were exactly what I was looking for, and they were in with their fall section. So the next thing I'm going to do is take some of the wider white rope from Dollar Tree. This is like the 6 foot, I think. And I'm going to make this into the rind of our watermelon. And I'm not going to leave it as rope. Basically, I'm using rope because I needed something flexible for the structure, and I thought this would be perfect and almost the perfect width, right? So I just cut it down to size, a little bit longer, but I can always trim it up later. And then I'm going to use that same fall green ribbon that I got at Dollar Tree and just glue that with hot glue onto my rope and kind of cover the whole end here at first to get it started. Getting this started was kind of the tricky part because you're kind of just going over the same place twice with the same ribbon. But basically, I want to wrap it like I wrapped the reform where you overlap slightly, not like entirely like it kind of started out. But once you get to about this point, it gets easy. So I'm just going to keep wrapping all the way down to make my rope green. And I thought this was a perfect color for a watermelon rind. If you wanted to add stripes to yours, you totally could. But once I got it all wrapped on here, I kind of loved the way it looked and I didn't want to mess it up. So all the way to the end of our rope. And then I'm just going to use some hot glue to glue that down. And then I can trim off the excess ribbon. And now I have a little flexible green rind for our watermelon slice. I had one area here where I kind of got started that didn't really look the cleanest, but I will shape that up when I go ahead and attach that to our little sign. Now, I couldn't decide if I was going to attach it to like the outside or actually attach it to the sign. I ended up attaching it actually to the sign because I thought that would make it a little bit sturdier. So it is going to be a little longer than I need. So I just start with a thin bead of hot glue on the outer edge of the wood round and push that like ribbon covered rope right down on there. And I was thinking I was really brainstorming what to use for the rind on this. And I'm so glad I came up with this because I think this turned out perfect. So just all the way around till I get to the end. And then just cut off the excess rope. Kind of have to saw through that stuff. And I'm just going to fix that one area that I wasn't real happy with. You won't be able to see it underneath the flowers. But it's starting to come together. It's got that watermelon slice shape so far. And now it's time for these cute little flowers. If you just pull them off, they do have a little bit of a stem on them still. I wanted to see if that would work by attaching that with hot glue, but it was kind of all over the place. And then I realized I was going to have to trim those. I have had difficulty trimming Dollar Tree flowers before, that they fall apart when you trim that part off. But luckily, these did not fall apart when you trimmed them off, so it worked out perfectly. So I'm going to start here, right here in the center, in the bottom of our watermelon slice, and start covering this with these cute flowers. I think I ended up using 2 of the bundles. I kind of planned on doing a little bit bigger project, so I had bought 4. But I kind of wanted it to be shaped like a slice instead of round. So it kind of reinforced what this is because it's kind of so abstract. So I just glue 1 flower on each side of that original one. And we're just going to keep following like the rind of the watermelon, gluing these down one at a time, kind of filling that up. And, you know, you might not have to paint the watermelon underneath of it. It was, I don't know, I can't really tell. But I felt like I had a lot of overlap between the flowers. And I'm just going to keep doing that all the way to the edge. I was hoping this looked like a watermelon, so I had to bring it out and show my son, and he was like, "Oh, I love it." And I'm like, "It's a watermelon." And he's like, "Well, yeah, I know." And I'm like, "Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure that he knew it was a watermelon." I think the shape definitely helps. I guess you could do like the quarter slice too. That would be cute. So I'm going to start on my second bunch here and my second row. And I decided to just kind of do like the flat side of my watermelon there. It looks like I need a total of 7 to go all the way across there. And then we can go back and fill in the center part of our watermelon. I had this project in my head and I was like, surely somebody has done this before. And so then I Googled it to try to get some ideas, and you know, I couldn't find any. But I think it's so fun. So I'm going to go ahead and fill up the middle here. I don't want it too tight, but I definitely want it full. So 4 right there in the middle, I think, is going to work out. And there's our little slice of watermelon. I think it turned out so cute. Just trying to clean up any like loose little glue stems. Then I realized you could still see the rope, you know, because we did wrap it. And I kind of want to hang it at an angle like that, so you're going to be able to kind of see that. But first I'm going to make a hanger. So I just take some twine once I decided what orientation I wanted, knotted that off, and I'm just going to staple that to the back. The staple will totally be hidden by the flower, so that will work well. And then it's just a matter of covering those ends there that were a little bit exposed with the rope. So I'm going to use the same ribbon that we used to cover it and just cut down some little circles just to cover it and hot glue those little caps on just to finish this project off. And if you don't have like a wood round or any way to cut it, you could totally do this with like foam board. And foam board might be even easier because you could kind of push the flowers down into the foam maybe. It's just a matter of getting that perfect round shape, which can be a little tricky. So I'm going to kind of hang it at an angle like this, our little slice of watermelon. And this is how it turned out. I think it's so pretty and fun for summer. What do you guys think about my little flower watermelon slice? I think it's really fun, definitely creative. And I think this is going to look great in my kitchen for summer. I love to decorate with fruit for summer. It totally gives me that summer vibe. Okay, up next, I wanted to make a little watermelon basket. This one is actually from the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree, but they also have these in their regular aisle at some of my Dollar Trees too, in different colors, and it doesn't really matter what color they are. I was just looking for that oval shape because I wanted to make a little watermelon basket. So I'm just going to start by painting the inside of our basket like bright red. I think this is called fire red color. It can kind of really be any tone of red that you want for your watermelon. And I thought this would be a perfect size little basket to put in my entryway for summer, you know, for you to put your keys in, something little. You could always display this like on its side or use it on a tier tray too. That would be really cute. But I'm using a small brush because I don't want to cover the entire inside. I want to leave 2 rows without any red paint. So when I had like kind of the transition, because it's kind of wrapped, right? So it's wrapped on top of itself. I kind of had to be careful to try to keep allowing only 2 rows to be unpainted and kind of transition with that wrapping. But I used a brush too so that I could kind of get in all of the little cracks of the basket and make the inside of our watermelon red. And I want to paint the whole thing, make it look like a legit watermelon. So for the green part, I'm going to be using this color. It is Christmas green, I think. And it's kind of the darkest color green I had. And I'm going to skip a row and then do the top row in green. That way the rind will actually be like just the existing rope color to give it a little bit of a natural feel. But I just want that top one to be green, like the outside of the watermelon. This was so easy to do. It was basically all just painting, and it turned out so cute. So if you have some of these little baskets from the Dollar Tree, or you find some, this is a really great way of using it. So now that I got that painted, I can paint all of the outside of it. I want it to look like a finished product, so I'm going to paint the sides, but I'm also going to paint the bottom. So I'm going to kind of paint where I can get to it at this point. I had a lot of wet paint going on. And then just flip it over and paint all of it. I think a brush is key to get in between all the different pieces of rope fiber on there of the little basket. But you can totally use acrylic paint like this. You don't have to use chalk paint or anything like that. This actually painted really well. Now, I don't mind if little pieces of brown shows through. I think that gives it more of a natural feel. Then I kind of wanted it to have watermelon stripes. You know how like the watermelon has like the lighter color of green, like stripes going kind of lengthwise. So I thought we could try to simulate that with a brush. And this is a leaf green color, just a contrasting color. And I just kind of blot my brush like that, picking it up and blotting it back down. Kind of giving it that watermelon like abnormal like pattern that they have on it. It's not perfect for sure. And then for the top, I wanted to bring some of that in too. So I just do little short stripes all the way around, just kind of by pulling the brush towards myself, just to make it a little bit more colorful. so cute. Now, the only thing we need are watermelon seeds. I didn't want to add actually like any paper or any kind of thing that was going to be sticking out of the basket. So I decided just to use a black Sharpie and just start drawing on seeds. I really want to only cover the bottom part of the basket with seeds, like the middle of the watermelon. And I'm using a Sharpie instead of a paint pen just because you don't get that bleeding and stuff like that. But at the same time, it wasn't real dark and black. So I did have to go over it a couple of times, trying to make my seeds a little bit bigger so that you could tell that they're there. But basically, that's all there is to it. We have a little watermelon basket for my keys, and I think it's so cute. Perfect for summer. Isn't it cute? I love it. And I was trying to think of something that was shaped like this that I could do something like this with, and a basket is perfect. This is how it kind of looks standing up on its side. If you wanted to display yours on a little plate rack or something like that, or on a tier tray, you could do that like that. Or what I'm probably going to do is just have mine flat so that I can put keys and stuff like that in there. Because I need all the help I can with putting my keys in the same spot every day. Otherwise, I'm searching for them. Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick moment out of today's video to tell you about my Facebook group. I have it linked below. I would love if you would join us over there, and I would love to see what you're crafting. And you'll always find out when I post new videos as well. I have a Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest, and my handle on all of those is Crafty Beach on YouTube. Okay, this is going to be a fun project, guys. I'm going to start off with 2 of the wood rounds from Dollar Tree. And we're going to make an actual tier tray, a watermelon tier tray, but we're actually making the tier tray too. So the 2 wood rounds are going to be the bottom of my tier tray. They're nice and big. And the reason that I have 2 is because they're super thin, right? But I thought if I put some of the Dollar Tree wood beads in between, we can make it nice and thick and chunky. Now this is how we're going to change these little wood rounds into watermelons. These adorable little watermelon napkins they have in the summer section at Dollar Tree. They are almost the perfect size, and all you got to do is open it up carefully. You're going to want to remove the lining because they are like a ply watermelon. And whenever you're doing like decoupage, like if you can just work with one layer of the napkin, you're going to have better results. So once you find it, you can just peel that off like that. And basically, it's just a little bit too big, but that is fine. We're going to make it work. So first thing I'm going to do is put some Mod Podge. I'm using the matte Mod Podge, and I'm doing a thin layer because you don't need much for these napkins, especially a single layer. But you do want all of your wood round covered with the Mod Podge. This is, I think, the first and only tier tray that I have made from scratch. No, this was the first, not the only. I did make a beach themed one too, I guess. So I just kind of center that on there, and I'm just being very careful about smoothing that out. I don't want wrinkles if I can avoid it, but I want it to be as flat as I can. So working from the center, I kind of smooth it out, make sure my hands were nice and dry. And you can see the overlap on the edge. Basically, the green part of the rind, like the dark green part, is a little bit too wide, but we can always kind of simulate that once we get it all on there. So I've got it on there pretty flat, and then I'm going to go in with my heat gun and give that a good dry. I want to make sure the edges are really dry too, because I want to sand that to give myself a cut. A perfect cut all the way around, and I do that with just a sanding sponge from the Dollar Tree and sand off the excess napkin. I love these napkins. I always try to pick them up every summer because I think they're so cute. They're probably my favorite one out of all the fruit ones. And then this is going to be the bottom of it. So now that I have it covered with watermelon, I can start thinking about putting this together. This is the round wood beads from Dollar Tree that are strung together. And I'm just kind of loosening up the end piece on each one of them because it's not quite long enough to go all the way around. So I'm going to have to use more than one. So this end I will just kind of start at. So I'll just kind of knot that several times. Not a big fan of that string in there. And then I can tie the next one on once I get this one attached. So I do a bead of hot glue, like one section at a time here. And I want like the wood beads to go like all the way to the edge to fill in like the gap in between the two signs when I put them together. So I do like half at a time there. That's how far one of those wood bead garlands will get you. I like using them strung up like this already because it makes it easier in placement. Now I just tied on my second one. And then I'm going to continue gluing that all the way around. And this is going to create a great side edge for my tier tray and make it nice and thick and chunky. So I got it glued all the way around. We have wood beads all the way around. I am going to paint those, but I thought it would be easier to glue those all on while everything was still kind of raw wood. I do use an extra bead of hot glue all along the inside just to help reinforce that a little bit and make it stronger. Now it's just a matter of putting the two together. So I'm going to do a bead of hot glue all the way around the bottom edge of the wood round that we covered in watermelon. And then lay the bottom on there, gluing the wood beads to that sign. So basically the wood beads are the joint in between the two, and see how thick and chunky it is now? It looks way more high end and more like, you know, a tray of a tier tray should look, I think. Now this is going to be the bottom tier and I want it to have legs. So I'm going to use actually some of these little wood snowmen from the Dollar Tree upside down that I had left over from Christmas. They make perfect legs, so I always try to buy extra of those whenever the holiday season comes around. But you could use anything. You could also use like the little wood cubes and stuff like that. That would be a good leg as well. But I thought these would be nice and decorative, right? You totally can't tell they are a snowman when they're upside down. And I'm going to paint mine. I think this was leafy green, but I have more than one leafy green. This is pretty green. I think it's about the same color as my Christmas green. And I'm just going to paint all of our little legs that green color to go with my watermelon feel. Now, when my watermelon napkin was a little bit larger than my tier tray, I had to cut off all the green parts. So I'm just going to use that same green to paint all of the wood rounds and the sides of the little wood rounds there. And I used a brush so I can kind of get down in between the different beads there. And so try to cover up any of the exposed raw wood. And this is also going to look like the rind, you know, of the watermelon. And I don't really care if I get a little bit on the napkin because I do kind of want some of that to be on there as well. So once I get that all painted, I do use a tiny brush and just kind of blot like a kind of an abstract line, kind of distressed a little bit there. Like, you know, a watermelon rind wouldn't be perfect for sure. And just paint a thin rind right back on with that same color. Now our legs are dry. We can go ahead and attach them. I did a total of 5 because it's a pretty big tier here. I think it's going to need 5 for stability. And so I just kind of put those like in a shape of a star maybe, and then just start hot gluing those on. And don't those make really cute legs? I can't remember where I got that idea. I saw somebody do it, maybe on Facebook. So cute. Now this is just the bottom tier. So next we'll be making the top tier for our tier tray. But if you just wanted to make a tray, you could leave it at this step and it would be super cute, right? But I wanted mine to be a tier tray, so we're going to keep building. So I needed a wood round that was smaller, and I found these. These are the ones with the words on them. which is fine because you're not going to be able to see that in the end, but they are a smaller wood round from the Dollar Tree, and you want a smaller size for your second tier. So I'm going to use those and some more of this wood bead garland. This is the older style that was on twine and a little bit longer. I liked this one better, but you know, whatever you can find at Dollar Tree. So what I want to do is have like hello and welcome both inside so they don't interfere with the design of my tray. And I'm not going to bother taking them off or anything like that because they're going to be hidden right inside of this tier. So just like before, I'm going to glue the wood bead garland to the edges just by using a bead of hot glue and wrapping that around. And then I can use that kind of like in between, like we did before, to attach those back to back. And that seemed to work really well. So that is definitely a way that you can get a smaller wood round from the Dollar Tree, even though they don't really have a plain one, I don't think. They have a close to one, the one with the frame around it now. It's kind of close. But I'm going to do the same thing here. A bead of hot glue all around the inside edges. And hello to welcome. We're going to glue this second tier together. This is going to be a 2-tier tray. And so this is constructed the exact same way the bottom tier was. And we're going to kind of decorate it the same way too. So I just make sure that I got all of my labels off the back of that. And then we can use another one of these adorable little napkins for the top of it. Now, you know, decoupaging with napkins can be a little tricky. If you do get your Mod Podge on there and you get it on there and it's like really wrinkled or messed up, you can remove it if you're quick. If it does dry on there though, you're probably gonna have to sand it off a little bit, but try to go from the center. You have a little bit of play before it dries. As you can see, I'm kind of lifting mine a little bit to make sure that I can smooth it all the way out to the edges. And I just centered mine on there. So this top tier is basically just going to be the inside of a watermelon with that red pattern with the black sunflower seeds. And I love these napkins because they look so realistic, right? The different shades of red and stuff like that. And so just like before, I am using my sanding sponge, cutting off all the excess napkin. Perfect way to give you a perfectly round circle for your napkin. I'm just going to make sure that is dry as well. I don't normally like to do Mod Podge over the top of it if I'm working with napkins, if I don't need to. So I'm going to use that same leafy green color and a brush, and we're going to go ahead and paint the sides of this one green as well. And then I just need to find something to put between the two tiers to make it an actual tier tray. If you have like a Goodwill sale or like a Goodwill store or a garage sale or something like that, you could probably find some really cute like wood candlesticks and stuff like that. I really wanted to keep this to the Dollar Tree. It makes it a little bit easier for y'all. And so what I end up using is a Dollar Tree candlestick to do the middle part of mine. So painting this one the same exact way that we did the bottom, all around the edges, and then a slight watermelon rind all along the edges. Now for the rind, it kind of has a transition color in between, right? And so it's kind of a yellow color on the bottom tier. And so it's kind of a yellowish green, right? So I'm kind of trying to simulate that. Just because I didn't want the pink right up against the green, I wanted this to look maybe like a little bit of a smaller watermelon instead of just one piece of the watermelon. So I just do a thin line of that all the way around. And then follow that up with a white edge. And that gave me that same like watermelon rind that will be on the bottom tier. So it'll kind of make it match. It'll just be like a smaller watermelon. So I'm happy with that. I think that looks really cute. And so this is what I'm going to use for the middle part of my tier tray. Just a round ceramic candle holder. It's not too tall, so I'm not going to be able to put really tall stuff on the bottom tier of this. That's why if you had like a longer wooden one, it might work a little bit better for you. But this is going to be kind of a small tier tray. I want it to blend in with the watermelon insides that it's going to be sitting in. And so I am just painting it red. Now, painting that white ceramic, like a bright red, did require several coats of paint to kind of get good coverage. And I just want it to look like that juicy part of the watermelon. Once I get it dry, I also thought it'd be fun just to add some seeds to it. So I'm just using a black Sharpie, and I'm just going to kind of draw seeds all over. You're not really going to be able to see this too much, but I thought it would be a fun little detail to add to my tier tray. So I thought, why not? And watermelon seeds are super easy. You can just do ovals if you want, or you can get a little fancier and try to put a pointy end on it like a seed would look. And then I want this to stay together, so I'm going to use some E6000 to help make this sturdier. I'm going to use my candlestick upside down. So it has like a lip around the edge that sticks out a little bit further. So I'm going to do E6000 all the way around. I like to use E6000 when I work with ceramics and stuff like that. When gluing it, I just find that it makes your project a lot sturdier. But I'm also going to do some hot glue and separately to try to help that stay together temporarily until I can get all of that glue to dry. So I just turn that upside down, sit it right in the center of our bottom tier, and make sure that I'm getting really good adhesion there so that glues down. I'm going to do the same thing here on the top. I'm going to do a bead of the E6000 all the way around the edges. Follow that up with hot glue, kind of on the inside. Just to help kind of catch that. And then we can add the top part of our watermelon. Doesn't it look so cute? Make sure you get it on there centered. While you still have a bit of wiggle room with that hot glue. And make sure that it is good and secure. And we did it, guys. We built a tier tray that looks like a watermelon. I think it's so fun, and everything was from the Dollar Tree, super inexpensive to make, and it was actually really fun. And here is a quick little preview. Don't worry, we will craft some stuff to decorate this as well. We can't leave this just plain like this, but I think it turned out so cute. The napkins were definitely the key to success on this project. Okay, time to decorate it. I told you we needed small stuff, right? So I thought we would use some of these little wood dice from the Dollar Tree, little wood cubes, to make some little like building blocks for the tier tray. They'd be nice and small. And I found some little phone grips, the little pop sockets from Dollar Tree. I found a watermelon one and a lime one. But I wanted to do just all three of the blocks, and I only had two. So I'm going to use some glass stickers to kind of finish off the last one. So I thought I would pick out some of my best, like fruity colors here. This is kind of, I can't remember what this is called. It's kind of like a yellow-green color. And so that is going to be my first one. I thought all of the little projects for this tier tray should be like fruit themed, not necessarily just watermelon. I thought it would be fun to mix it up with like all like these citrus fruits and stuff as well. So this cube, I'm going to make this one fire red. And so we're still staying with kind of those same color scheme with like the red and the green block. Then I thought for the third one, I wanted to have something kind of plain for the ceramic sticker that we're going to use. So I thought I would just do this one white. And these are kind of like, I guess they're shaped like giant dice, but they're a nice small size to make something for your tier tray. Now it's just a matter of drying them and decorating them. So I did this one like that, like lime green color, because I thought that would be like perfect for this little lime pop socket. And I always like checking all the aisles at Dollar Tree because you never know where you're going to find cool stuff. I found cool stuff like this in electronics a lot. and in like bath supplies and stuff like that. Like they have a watermelon popsicle sponge right now. You can find some really cute stuff, kind of looking off the beaten path. So it's just a matter of popping the pop socket apart. I don't need that. I just need the cute little lime, right? And I'm just going to attach that with hot glue. It's a perfect size for the little dice. Fits right on that circle in the front. It makes a tiny little decoration for our tier tray. So we're going to do the same thing here with the watermelon one. I think they also have like orange or lemon maybe, if you can find them. That would be really cute too. Definitely had to do the watermelon one though, since we were decorating the watermelon tier tray. So just like before, we're just going to open this up and take that little watermelon off the popsicle and attach it to the round part of our little dice. Now, I wouldn't recommend using these pop sockets. My son went through like 2 or 3 of them in a row, and he's like, would you please buy me like a real pop socket? Because he fidgets with his a lot on his phone, and they would break immediately. But they work great for decor. So there's our little lime and our watermelon, and I only had 2 of those. So I thought I would use one of these little ceramic stickers and do that. I was going back and forth between I love summer and enjoy summer, and I think I decided on enjoy summer. So that's kind of how I love summer will look. It was a little bit bigger than I needed, but the enjoy summer, it has like a little hibiscus on it. It's super cute. And you don't have to use these on ceramics. You can stick these to anything. They're basically just really strong stickers. I'm just going to peel that and stick that on our little white dice. And we have 3 really adorable little decorations for our little tier tray. So let's keep making items. I told you I like to check all the aisles at Dollar Tree. I found a luggage tag that has a little watermelon gnome with sunglasses on eating a watermelon. So I thought that would be perfect. We can make a little sign for the watermelon tier tray with that. For this one, I'm going to use one of these little burlap signs from the Dollar Tree. I love these chunky signs. I haven't been able to find these lately. They have a misspelling on the front of them, and I think they had to take them off the market, but I wish they would fix the spelling and replace these because these were great. They're real chunky, heavy, and they're covered in burlap already. So I'm going to attach our cute little watermelon gnome to the front. He's just about the right size. He does have that little slit from the luggage tag on the top, but I'll show you how to disguise that. I do a bead of hot glue all along the little holder on the back there for your address, the little square, and just glue him to my sign. See, I told you can find cute stuff everywhere in Dollar Tree, so be sure to go down every aisle. And then to cover the little slit in his hat, I'm just taking some Dollar Tree twine and just going to tie a simple little bow there. It's going to serve as a decoration, but it's also going to cover that up. Easy peasy. I'm just going to attach that with a little bit of hot glue. And I have so many watermelon DIYs that I think I'm going to have to break this up into 2 videos just because I have a lot because I love watermelons for summer. So this next one is just one of these little wreath charms from the Dollar Tree. They're kind of chunky, but not really. And they're great for little signs, for a tier tray because it's not going to be real tall. So this is a butterfly one. It doesn't really matter which one you get because we're going to customize this and make this look like fruit. I do start with a little spackle there just to cover the hole. It has a hole in there so you can like hang this. I guess it's a wreath charm or something like that. But I usually find other uses for these. So I'm going to start by I want a blank canvas and I don't want you to see that butterfly. So I just paint the top of it with some ivory chalk paint there. And what I wanted to do was to try to paint this and make it look like an orange. I told you I wanted to go with like summer and fruits for this cabinet that we're decorating with this tier tray. So I go over it with, I think this is like a pumpkin orange. And I had a nice white coat there, so 1 coat's definitely enough. And then I'm going to use just a white paint pen and draw a circle on the inside, a dot in the middle, And then I just have to start doing lines, one side to the other. And what you want to do is form like the little orange wedges. So kind of like a cross pattern, and then you can fill in all the gaps. Then you can kind of round the corners on your orange to give you a little bit of that white stuff that's on the orange, the rind. And give it that orange shape. And this was so easy to make, and I think it looks just like an orange. If you wanted yours to be like a lemon or a lime, you could totally do the same thing. But I thought an orange would be fun. And I think it's just thick enough to kind of stand up on its own. You could always add something to the back if it's not. And then I'm going to use one of these little wind chimes from the summer section at Dollar Tree. They have these in like the ones with the markers, or this is like, I think the smaller one that's part of the wind chime. Basically, the only thing I'm looking for in here is that cute little watermelon that says summer vibes. So I was trying to think if I could use any of the other pieces, but probably not for this project. The only thing I don't like about the wind chime ones is that there are holes in the top and the bottom there to make it into a wind chime. So that's the first thing I'm going to have to do is just try to fill those holes up with a little bit of spackle. And then we can decorate this and make it look cute for our tier tray. So once my spackle is dry, I can start coloring this in. I thought a Sharpie would be easier than trying to get a paintbrush or in any of these spots. So I'm just kind of trying to stain the wood with my Sharpie. It actually worked pretty well. So just going around all of my letters. I want this to be really colorful. There's lots of different parts to this design. So I just want the watermelon part to be red. And you can still see the seeds coming through too. And then I'm going to use a green paint pen here for the rind. The lighter color green on the inside rind there. And then kind of a white background for this guy. So I just use a white paint pen. And I'm going to kind of go over all of the rest of it with that white paint pen, just because I wanted a white background. And since it's white, you're still going to be able to see the design through there. And I thought it was a little streaky, so I actually went back in there with some white acrylic. Now I wanted a little bright blue for this one, so I used like kind of an aqua color paint pen for the vibes. And for the summer part, I could still see through there to put summer back on there. So I go back in there and just kind of re-add that to it. So it kind of has the same vibes, kind of looks like water maybe. And then I just use like a black ink pen to kind of draw my black border back on my letters. And then this definitely needed some definition. So I just kind of traced all of the letters back on there from where we painted that, touching it up a little bit as well. Just an easy little handmade watermelon sign. Looks super cute. I do need to add a block or something to the back. I just cut down a wood block that I had, made it smaller, and I'm just going to hot glue that to the back just to make this stand up on our little watermelon tier tray. Super easy, and I think this is going to be just about the right size. Now for the next one, I wanted like a circle, but I wanted a circle with a hole in it. So I thought this little picture frame from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree would be perfect. And I just need to pop the back of it off without trying to cause any damage. There are like a couple of staples that stick out that were used to hold the hanger on. So I'm just going to use some pliers to remove those, and little staples that hold on the back of the picture frame. The reason I wanted this specific shape is because I wanted to try to make a slice of pineapple, since we're doing that fruit theme, summer fruit theme for the watermelon tier tray. And then this is the color I'm going to use. It is goldenrod. There we go, goldenrod. And I thought this was the perfect color for a pineapple. See how this looks just like a slice of pineapple? Now that I have the frame off of it. You could leave the frame on it, but I needed these projects to be fairly small. So I just paint that great color of goldenrod, also painting the edges to make it look like a little slice of watermelon. Then I go back with like a yellow paint pen And I kind of draw those little striations that are on like a pineapple slice. Just little lines straight out all the way around, and it gave it that great look of a slice of pineapple. And then I go in with another color of yellow too, just to kind of emphasize that a little bit more. And then I thought that stood out a little bit too much, so I do go back in there with that original color and kind of distress, break it up a little bit. And it really gave you that look of a little pineapple slice. Now, just like before, I need a way to kind of stand that up, and I'm just going to use a little Jenga block from Dollar Tree and just glue that to the back of our little pineapple. So we have all different kinds of tropical fruit to decorate that little watermelon tier tray. So cute. And this is how it looked. I put my little pineapple there on the top, my little watermelon gnome. And then down below we have our little fruit blocks, our little watermelon summer vibe sign, and our little orange there in the back. I didn't want to decorate it too much because I wanted you to still be able to see the watermelon on the tray because I think it looks so cute. And I decorated my cabinet for summer like this. It's so cute you can leave it out all summer long. Okay, this is one of the little watermelon signs from Dollar Tree. Look how cute this is. Sweet summertime. Like, it really doesn't need much. I wanted to use some of these summer signs from the Dollar Tree to kind of fill that cabinet out where we had that little tier tray before, to kind of make a little summer vibe cabinet. Now, I did want to tone down the glitter a little bit, so I did use a paint pen. And this is like a light blue color. I wanted to bring in a little bit more blue on this one. There is a blue like letter about this color in summer. And I'm just going over all of the glitter with that to kind of tone that down a little bit. It doesn't completely hide it, but then I'm also going to use matte Mod Podge all over the front of it to tone the glitter down even more. But the signs are really cute. They would be perfect if they didn't use glitter on them. I did go in with a second coat of Mod Podge just to make it look a little bit more matte, and I like the way that turned out. Now, I don't need the hanger on the top, so I just tied a simple little twine bow to cover that up. I want to make this a standing sign for my cabinet for summer. And so this is going to be a very quick, easy little watermelon DIY. I just need a way to stand it up. And I'm just going to use some of these Jenga blocks from Five Below here. They're nice and heavy, and I think it's going to make a nice little stand here for the back. Whenever I glue these to the back, I make sure I don't go all the way down to the bottom of the project because you want your project to slightly lean back. That way it doesn't want to tip over because this is a really kind of big sign. And I think that is going to work, our little sweet summertime sign. And this is how it turned out. I think it's so cute. I love the colors. This year they had two. I think they have the sweet summertime, but they also have like summer, sweet summer, I think. I might be doing that with something with that for my next watermelon video as well. And this is how it looks in my cabinet with my summer decor. It's so cute. And it was so easy. Now, I wanted to make another like little fruit sign for that cabinet, and this is one of their little hanging directional arrow signs for summer. And I want mine to be like on a stand, like where it looks like it's actually directional arrows and not just hung together like by ribbon. But I think it's really bright, colorful. It's got watermelons, pineapples, all kinds of fruit all over the front of it. It says sweet summer, says fruit stand, and juice bar. And of course, I want to tone down that glitter, Dollar Tree. So I use matte Mod Podge over the top of the whole sign to try to tone that glitter down just a little bit. Now for the stand, I wanted something kind of heavy duty, so I'm going to use just one of these chunky long signs from Dollar Tree. Doesn't matter which one it is, because we are actually just going to kind of chop this up and kind of make a stand that's going to be perfect for my cabinet. I'm going to cut it right about there with my saw. Basically, I want to make the stick to go straight up. That will attach all my directional arrow signs. But then with the rest of it, I actually want to make 2 little blocks to go on each side to make a little like T shape to make it stand up. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of try to cover up that design that's on there, kind of give myself a blank canvas to work with. So I'm just using some ivory chalk paint to cover up all the glitter and chaos that was on that sign. And then we can kind of decorate these to go a little bit more with my decor. And for burlap, I'm actually going to use like the skinnier burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree. They do have this end larger now, but this actually worked out quite well for the size. I did need to trim it down a tiny bit, and then I just Mod Podged that down. And it had that white canvas or the white color below it, so you can't see through it. So it's definitely important to paint them first. And then I'm going to cover the 2 blocks with that same burlap ribbon, just with some more Mod Podge. Just cut down 2 little squares and cover both of those. And you guys know I love burlap with anything, and burlap goes with fruit as well. So now it is just a matter of putting this together. I left the ribbon on there kind of for spacing so I would know exactly what I need to do to attach this to our sign. And I'm just going to use some hot glue, attach this one right to the top of it, centering that right on our pole. And then using that ribbon for spacing, I'm going to glue the second one down and the third. And I love these signs. They're so colorful. I like them a lot better, though, when I tone down the glitter on them. And then just using a pair of pliers, we're just going to rip the staples and ribbons off of the back of it now that we have it attached to our sign. And just going to clean up any of the staples as well there. And then one of these little blocks on each side should make a really nice little sturdy base because these things are so thick and chunky. So I'm just going to attach those to that with hot glue. And it doesn't take away from the design at all. It just made that sign look so much more high-end than it looked before. And then I thought maybe a little colored ribbon. I picked up this really cute plaid ribbon at Dollar Tree just for a splash of color across the front. I'm just going to hot glue that right over my burlap. And that's all there is to it. Another quick, easy little fruit or watermelon DIY for summer. And I have it right next to my Sweet Summertime, a sign there in the cabinet. And here is a closer view. They have these for like all different kinds of themes, but I definitely wanted fruit because that was what I was going for, kind of a sweet summer theme in this cabinet for summer. This is another Dollar Tree summer sign. It says, "Hello, Summer." Nice long sign, and I thought we could actually make this like a standing sign as well. I have kind of a short shelf on that cabinet, and this will almost fill the entire thing up. It's got watermelons, oranges, limes, pineapple, lemons, kind of everything we've been using today. Tie it all together, and it says, "Hello, Summer." Again, glitter. So I'm toning that down with some more Mod Podge. Covering the entire sign. I love that it has a blue background because that kind of makes it go with all of the blue that I have in my house. And I just want to make it a standing sign as well. So it doesn't have any holes or anything like that that I have to fill up, but I just need to make a stand. And again, I'm using some of those Jenga blocks from Five Below. I usually pick these up every spring at Five Below. They were like $10 for a giant box of them, and then I think they went up to $12 the last time I bought them. But this year I did not pick any up. I have not been in there, and I don't know if they still have them. But I love them for crafting. And this is the shelf that I thought that would be perfect for. Look how it's just the right size. And I love this design. I think it's so bright and colorful for summer. And it ties all of those projects in together. Now, this is another quick, easy Dollar Tree project. Another sign from the Dollar Tree. This is the little jar that says "Sweet Summer Sunshine," and it's got like lemons and watermelon in it. And I'm going to kind of try to make mine look a little bit better too. So I took the hanger off, and then I'm just using that same light blue paint pen that we used before for that other watermelon sign. And it'll kind of tie in with that blue sign that we just did. And just painting over the top of the glitter. Kind of bring a little bit of blue into this project just for fun. And kind of outline that back with a little bit of white too, just to clean that up. I think these little jar signs are so cute from the Dollar Tree. I touch up my green and my pink a little bit too, just because I thought it would try to, this had so much glitter on it. I thought that might tone it down a little bit, and it does help. If this sign didn't have glitter, I think it would be perfect. I like glitter sometimes, but only very rarely. So the little fruit and stuff that's attached to it has some glitter on it as well. So I'm going to use some Mod Podge kind of over everything to tone down any glitter that you can still see and any glitter that I haven't painted over yet, like on the little watermelon rinds and stuff like that and the fruit on the top. And this was a hanging sign, so there are holes in the top of the jar, but I think it's fine. I don't think it's real noticeable. So I just need to kind of make a stand for this one too, and I think that this will fill up my cabinet for summer. So again, those are some of the Five Below blocks. And I'm just going to glue a couple together. And this is going to make it weighted down and make it really a lot sturdier than just a thin Dollar Tree sign. And I just glue that jar right to the top, just like that. And that is another quick, easy little watermelon DIY. This is how it turned out. I think it looks way better with a little bit of blue on there, to be honest. But I did touch up all of the paint on there and Mod Podged it to make it look more matte finish. And that is a closer view. This is how it looks sitting next to that cute little watermelon tier tray. Hey guys, I wanted to let you know that I've introduced memberships for my channel for $4.99 a month. You're going to get early ad-free access to my new videos like this one, and you're also going to get a few other perks as well. It's a great way for you to support me here at Crafty Beach, and I want to give a huge Crafty Beach thank you to the following members. We have 12 Crafty Beach Mom members. Thank you to Karen O'Haron, Coastal Couple, Pamela Bergeron, I Am Mojo Jojo, Mary Banks, Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Stacy Hall, Sandra Ray, Carrie R., and Tracy Knight. Thank you so much for your support. And now it's time for the final reveal of all of our watermelon DIYs today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button, comment your favorite DIY below, or just come say hello in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers.
To what everyone says, I go my own way, I walk my own line, I ask no more from you, I just want you to whisper sweet nothings in my ear, just whisper. Cause whisper sweet nothings in my ear. Just whisper sweet nothings in my ear. 'Cause I don't need no broken promises. I only want you to undress and whisper sweet nothing.
Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to watch more Crafty Beach, YouTube thinks you might enjoy this video right here.